Alrighty. Topic 1. The effects of water loss. Now, I have to apologize beforehand because I did topic 2 before I did topic 1 because before all this, I really messed up the video, so I'm sorry about that. So if stuff isn't linked or whatever, hey, I'm sorry about that. Alright, so let's begin. I'm gonna give you a kind of a crazy example, which right now wouldn't make sense, but then after you understand what I'm trying to get at. So say you have a swimming pool, right? One day it's full to the top, right? Because we all love swimming, right? Even if you don't know how to swim, it's just like a swimming pool, right? Jump in, relax, cool off, it's hot, especially in New Mexico, it's always hot, So you're swimming around, right? The next day, it's the pool is a little bit has less water in it. Like, okay. The third day comes around, a little more less water, and then so on and so forth. Before you know it, the pool is dry. And then you find out eventually it's your neighbor taking water, right? Now I know it doesn't make sense, right? Like, what am I talking about? But I want you to think about this as the basket, the Rio Grande. It's where if you like to swim, right? You're swimming around, right? The next day, you notice the river's a little bit has less water in it, and more and more and more, right? It's like agriculture, right? Farmers taking water for the crops, right? And the more they take water for the crops, right, the less water we're gonna have. And even though it's a good thing that they have crops and stuff, right, they could be taking a little too much water, and especially in a state that has very low water, right? Just in 2022 alone, New Mexico had the biggest drought now on record, right? I said drought, I mean drought. But in 2022, in Albuquerque, if you know what I-40 and I-25 is, you see you could pass the Rio Grande, right? Every time I went past the Rio Grande, it was full of water. But this year, in 2022, it was kind of different. The water was gone, pretty much. It was a little stream. And I always make jokes like, yeah, look, the water's all dried up, we don't got water in New Mexico. But this year, 2022, was different because it truly was like that, where there was barely any water. And I didn't understand why. So after doing my research in this project on this website that you're looking at, I realized this drought was really bad. That year, the Colorado mountains didn't have a lot of snow. They actually had dry snowfall. So because of that, there wasn't a lot of water flowing in the Rio Grande. And then a lot of farmers were using a lot of water, right? And I want to just step back for a little bit, right? Just take a break. We'll come back to this, but what about us, citizens, or how am I going to say this, us normal people, it kind of seems messed up, but that's the best way to say it. But what if everyday people, right, was also contributing to this water loss that we're facing in the Bosque? Just think about it. Think about if you leave your sink running, or you've taken too long showers, or maybe you're giving your plants too much water, or so many other stuff, right, that can contribute to water loss. It's called water waste, and as a New Mexican, I see a lot of water waste, right? Kind of sad. So, I like to fish. Fishing's my hobby. And I mentioned this before, but a lot of times I go fishing. I go with my friend. We always go to this lake called Monastery Lake, right? It's a very great lake. It's awesome. It's located near Pecos River, which is in the town of Pecos, New Mexico. Very great spot to go fishing. I'll recommend it to you. I remember before 2022, it was about like 2021, whatever, because I only been fishing for 5 years, right? So I was kind of new to fishing. Actually, I really was new fishing, right? I only had 1 year experience. So we're fishing, we're having a good time, you know. So there's this little pipe here. The water goes to like right here, right? One day, next year, 2022, the water was here and the pipe was here. It was so low in the water. And before we get in there, here's the river, right? And here's this bridge, kind of right here, coming across. The river was so low that you could see the gravel. Like it looked like a little trickle of water. Like, you know, if you open a bottle of water, right? You go and you spill it, you know, there's a little trickle of water. That's what Pecos River looked like. Now, I know it's overreacting, right? But just to give you an idea on it was low. And I remember, you know, telling my friend like what's going on? Like this never happened before. Well, I want you guys to think we haven't been to this lake for a while. It was closed in April of 2022. And the reason was a big, huge fire broke out. It was the Gulf Canyon Henry Street fire. It was the biggest fire recorded in New Mexico, reaching 340,000 acres. It started out as a small fire. One little fire here, one little fire here, and then eventually it connected and a big, huge fire.
The fire is now 279,000 acres and growing, with only 27% contained. It is pushing both north and south. The flames in the south are pushing towards the Pecos National Forest. In the north, Angel Fire and Taos. Currently, there are 1,900 personnel working on this fire, with multiple agencies from across the country here to trying to help. There is also a transition team coming in to help.
As we talk about effects of water loss, you know, coming a little bit back towards it, one of the big reasons too why there's water loss in New Mexico is because all the fires that New Mexico faces. Because it's hot, you know, barely any rain, right? So even a little spark could make a huge fire. Now, animals are getting affected, right? Humans are infected, you know? Even crops, plants, you know, mammals, you know, you name it is affected, right? Now, when I talk about humans, I'm not talking about, you know, the whole globe. I'm just talking about New Mexico. Now, why is New Mexico struggling with water, right? Some say climate change, some say waterways, some say fighting too many fires, you know. But I want you guys to think for a little bit. As we go on to the next topics, and I'll be describing more, you know, I want you guys to really think on this one main question that I've been asking since, you know, the introduction, right? Should New Mexicans prioritize animal needs over human needs? Just think about that for a little bit. And also think about this one question I want to ask. What can you do in your state or country to help with water loss, climate change? So, to wrap up, be looking for the next topic too, you know? Yeah. How about edge?